Match of the week comes to you from Rockingham Road this week. It's Kettering Town against Farnborough Town in the GM Vauxhall Conference. It's been a difficult season for Kettering Town, as you may already know. And going into this game, they're third from bottom, having lost 3-2 away last week at Hereford. And viewers of Northants TV should be well familiar with today's opponents, Farnborough Town. Only 2 weeks ago, they were knocked out of the FA Trophy by Kettering's arch rivals, Redden and Diamonds. But today it's the Poppies against Farnborough Town.
Since that defeat at Nem Park in the FA Trophy 2 weeks ago, Farnborough's form has nosedived slightly. They lost 3-2 at home to Northwich Victoria last Saturday, which is the same score by which Kettering lost to Hereford United. And despite that defeat, Poppies player manager Steve Berry would like to have kept an unchanged side from last week, but Chris Pearson is suspended, so Costello comes in for him into a forward line that also includes Northampton Town loanee Ray Van Dulleman. Farnborough Town manager Alan Taylor will be hoping his side can secure their third away win of the season at Rockingham Road today, and will be looking to his forward line of Mayhew and Rowlands to achieve that aim. Number 11 Wingfield is a nippy left winger whose speed and skill caused the Diamonds all kinds of bother a fortnight ago. Today's referee is Mick Thorpe from Ipswich, and the two skippers there are Craig Norman for Kettering wearing number 8 and Wayne Stemp for Farnborough wearing 2. And for those of you who caught the highlights of Kettering's defeat at Hereford last week, you noticed that Craig Norman scored an absolute blinder, which put the Poppies 1-0 up last Saturday, so the Poppies fans here at Rockingham Road today will be hoping he can repeat that. And we're underway. Kettering kick off, shooting from left to right. That's Van Dulleman's first touch for the Poppies, and he gets a second one here. This is Mutchell. And the ball forward towards Costello, but an early offside decision goes against the Poppies. And Brian Horn, the Farnborough goalkeeper, will get his first kick. It was Valden's clearance, looking for Van Dulleman again. And he's seeing a bit of the ball in the early stages here, the big Dutchman. Ray Van Dulleman, of course, who's on an extended loan period here at Rockingham Road. What with the good form Northampton Town are in down at Sixfields, I think he's finding it a little bit difficult to get into the first team down there, but Steve Berry's only too happy to give him his chance in the first team here at Kettering. Van Dulleman, who's only got the 1 goal so far this season for the Poppies, in the 1-1 draw against Halifax Town here at Rockingham Road a few weeks ago. But I'm sure he'll be hoping to add to that today. And he's looking for that as well, Van Dulleman. Moore was going in with a header, and it caused John Underwood to put the ball over his own crossbar for a corner. Well, a poor one it was, delivered by Carl Adams, but Kettering might well regain possession again here, and that is Adams getting another chance to get the ball back in. Well, that came off Norman, and Sandymann's looking to put the ball back in the danger zone. It was always drifting too far away from Colin Valden, who'd stayed up from the corner. But some encouraging early signs for Kettering. This is Rob Mutchell. They're looking for Van Dulleman again, although this might well fall to number 2 Ian Ridgway. And well, those home Poppies fans quite pleased with what they're seeing, no doubt, in the early stages. Sandymann's ball in was never going to trouble the Farnborough defence then, and just sailed over Brian Horn's crossbar. Brian Horn, of course, a vastly experienced goalkeeper. Seems to have put on a little bit of weight. Now he's playing in non-league football, but I'm sure he's still a perfectly capable player. Well, that was the ball drifted over Valden's head then, and Moore was tangling with Rowlands. Farnborough able to get up towards the Kettering end for the first time in this match. That's Mayhew. Well, back to Underwood, but well, the attempted ball in was certainly not troubling the Poppies' defence then. And once more, that was loose from him, and it came out to Spencer Mintram. And well, Farnborough attacking with pace here, and that's Wingfield, who eventually wins the first corner for Farnborough. The ball came off David Moore then. Knocked in by Wingfield. And Taylor got a fist onto that, and the clearance was completed by Carl Adams. Mitchell up towards Adams again, and given away again by the Poppies. Farnborough fans, not many have travelled here to Rockingham Road. Well, that's Costello tangling with Mintram. Sandyman was looking for that, and well, it came off Van Dulleman's foot. And at the moment, Kettering just can't put their foot on the ball up front at the moment. And that ball's gone out of play for a Kettering throw, to be taken by Rob Mitchell. That's Van Dulleman. Oh, and a nice ball looking through for Sandyman. Will he be able to get to this? Sandyman's clean through here. Oh, Bradley Sandyman blazes the ball over the bar when he should certainly have scored then. He was absolutely clean through. The ball was sitting up nicely for him, and Sandyman lashed that high and wide. Well, a tremendous early chance for the Poppies then. Squandered by Bradley Sandyman, and now Farnborough are going up the other end with Rowlands. Well, he's looking to feed the ball through to Mayhew, but David Moore crowded that out. This is Mitchell. And Billyman tussling with John Underwood. Oh, nice play by Farnborough. That's Wingfield back towards Rowlands. Well, the ball played in more in hope than anything then by Rowlands. A chance for Kettering to regain their composure. But certainly Bradley Sandyman might well rue that missed chance, coming after 24 minutes for Kettering Town. The goal then would have been a welcome sight to the home supporters here at Rockingham Road. Oh, it's well in there by David Harlow. Although Kettering have the ball back again with Mitchell. That's outside to Sandyman. Oh, Sandyman's ball in, left-footed. Was looking for Van Dulleman, but got nowhere near him. And Farnborough can break over on the right-hand side with Spencer Mintram. Oh, and a good ball through Mayhew. Well, he was absolutely unmarked, racing through the Kettering defence then, David Mayhew. And that particular Poppies fan well pleased to see the ball straight into the chest of Chris Taylor, the Poppies goalkeeper, because that was a decent chance for Farnborough then. And the game beginning to open up a little bit more now, but what on earth was the Kettering defence playing at? David Mayhew absolutely ghosted through, totally unmarked then. And might well think to himself, well, I should have done better then. Now the Poppies on the offensive with Ian Ridgway over on the far side, but Farnborough dealt with that quite comfortably. Well, that was Moore and Rowlands challenging in the air, and Rowlands was using his back, according to Mr. Thorpe. Valden will take the free kick. Oh, nice touch on by Ray Van Dulleman, but his colleagues in the Kettering forward line were singing according to different song sheets there, and were absolutely nowhere near his touch. This is Paul Harford. And well, Mitchell and Valden were both challenging him there, and they were both impeding Paul Harford. So Farnborough have this free kick. Well, that's hanging up in the wind. There's a fairly well, the shot coming in is by Phil Wingfield. But well, the less said about that, the better, I think. And there's certainly a fairly strong wind here at Rockingham Road, which is picking up this afternoon. At the moment, it's in favour of Kettering. But of course, that will change when we reach half-time. 30 minutes gone. Still goalless between Kettering Town and Farnborough Town at Rockingham Road here, although Farnborough are trying to change that now as they attack quite fluently over on the right-hand side with Steve Baker. Well played by Rob Mitchell then. They managed to win the ball from the Farnborough number 7's toes. And well, it's all getting a little bit scrappy in the midfield at the moment. Valden's having a word with Mr. Thorpe, who shows Valden the yellow card. That might well be for something Colin Valden said after the little fracas he had in the middle of the field then with John Underwood. Chris Taylor will take this free kick for Kettering Town. And well, Van Dulleman won another flick on there. He's winning those balls in the air without fail, Ray Van Dulleman. And well, it was Carl Adams having the shot, and he applauds his teammate for the flick on. But well, that effort by Carl Adams just about sums up Kettering's performance so far this half. It's been pretty uninspired, to say the least. They've had a few chances, most notably the one which Bradley Sandeman blazed over the bar after 24 minutes, but since then it's been pretty torrid stuff, and you really wouldn't be surprised if Steve Berry rang a few changes at half-time. Clearance by Stemp, the Farnborough skipper, but it went only as far as Colin Vowden for Kettering. They will use this as another opportunity to pump the ball into the danger zone. Craig Norman. Back to Adams. Oh, well. The ball to Bradley Sandeman was the right idea, but it was intercepted then. Farnborough have the opportunity to break, although again possession was lost, this time by Farnborough, and it would come out to Rob Mitchell over on that left-hand side, who plays the ball in. Well, no doubt that ball was looking for Ray Van Dulleman, but it was far too close to Brian Horn. And the Farnborough goalkeeper kicks. Well, those Poppies fans, although they've had a pretty hard time of it this season, because everyone knows about the troubles that Kettering Town have had, their home form of late has actually been quite good, Kettering. Their last 8 games here at Rockingham Road, that's including FA Trophy, Vauxhall Conference and Hillier Cup matches, they've only actually lost the one. They've won 5 of them and drawn 2, so their home form of late has been pretty good. Although Wingfield won't have any time for that sort of record as he shoots, but it wasn't much of a shot. Chris Taylor will collect. Taylor, of course, who maybe has been fairly instrumental in this improvement in Kettering form during the middle part of the season, actually. You may remember he made his debut for the Poppies in the game against Rushden and Diamonds back in November. A game which the Poppies actually lost 1-0 at Nempart, you may recall. But since then, they haven't been doing badly at all. And that ball might well break to Adams in midfield, and indeed it does. Kettering can claim possession again with Rob Mitchell. Mitchell collected that back. Old Van Dulleman's touch was a good one inside to Adams. Well, that's the second shot he's had in the space of about 7 minutes. And that's the second time it's sailed about 20 yards over the bar. More let them, but had absolutely no hope of winning that. Come to Ian Ridgway. Ray Van Dulleman twisting and turning on this near-hand side. Although his ball towards Costello was intercepted by Steve Baker. And well, Vowden slipped then, and a great chance for Farnborough. That's Wingfield inside to Rowlands, and that's 1-0 for Farnborough Town. Well, it's a goal maybe they've deserved on the balance of play, but it was an absolute shambles. Vowden slipped, and well, when Phil Wingfield broke through, then there was absolutely no one with him. And consequently, when he rolled the ball across the face of goal, Martin Rowlands had about 10 days in which to stroke it into the back of the net. But he needed less than 10 seconds. 39 minutes gone. Kettering Town 0, Farnborough 1. And well, you really do sense that Steve Berry needs to have a stern word with some of his players at the interval, because, well, frankly, it looks like some of them haven't been, just haven't been up for it. Of course, they're in the bottom 3, Kettering, and well, we can't overstate the importance of a good result here today for the Poppies. They're in the bottom 3, of course, Kettering, and well, Farnborough are only 4 places above them, so it's a real dogfight today, with teams at the wrong end of the Vauxhall Conference table. Well, Ridgway and Spencer Mintram were leaping with that, although it was Mintram who won it over the Poppies defender. Well, and well, Paul Cox had to be really careful there, because Wingfield's such a lively character. And well, we saw that with the goal that he just set up for Martin Rowlands then. And against the Diamonds 2 weeks ago, Wingfield was twisting and turning on the left wing and causing Tim Wooding all sorts of bother. Well, that's Sandyman laying the ball back to Ian Ridgway. Well, the ball in was again played towards Van Dunneman, although this time he lost out to Chris White. And Wayne Stemp will clear this ball for Farnborough. Well, Wingfield's in plenty of space. Well, the linesman's flag was up, but I wouldn't mind seeing that again, actually, because David Moore looked to be playing him onside then. The linesman's flag comes to Kettering's rescue on that particular occasion. Well, and that was Ridgway trying to play the ball forward again, but that seems to have been Kettering's problem in this first half. They just haven't been able to make the ball stick. They've been losing possession too many times. Well, as Wingfield tries to beat Colin Bowden again, on that occasion he actually ran the ball out of touch, Phil Wingfield, but that just underlines the threat he poses on the left wing. But they need a man up front who can hold the ball up, Kettering. And well, Van Dunneman's been doing his best, but too often the ball's been played to him in the air. And to be honest, Chris White and John Underwood at the back for Farnborough have been snuffing him out for the most part. That's Costello. He's battling with John Underwood there. And, well, Underwood manages to win the throw for Farnborough. That came off Costello last. Ridgway and Costello were looking for the ball then. That's well played by Carl Adams inside to Sandyman. This is a bit more like it from Kettering. Will they be able to get one back before the referee blows his whistle for half-time? Bowden. Well, Van Dunneman. Well, Carl Adams then. The ball seemed to be dropping towards him, but it's gone out of play. Well, they, like all their fellow Poppies fans here this afternoon, will want to see an improved second-half performance by their team. Mick Thorpe blows the whistle for half-time. The Poppies are a goal down here to Farnborough. And if Bradley Sanderman there had stuck away that early chance for Kettering, it might have been a different story. But join us after the break, where we want an improved performance by Kettering Town, please.
Northants TV's Match of the Week is sponsored by Dr. Martins, in association with Rushden and Diamonds Football Club. The winning combination. The management and staff at Tesco throughout the region wish all our customers a happy and prosperous new year and remain committed in maintaining our position as your #1 store. Fashion wear, videos, cassettes and CDs, including the top 40 albums, magazines, books, confectionery. It's all at Tesco, where your money really does buy you more. There's fresh fruit and vegetables, a large variety of cooked meats and cheeses, mouth-watering chicken, made-to-order pizzas, and freshly baked loaves and rolls from our in-store bakery. To complement the festive fare, try a wide variety of healthy option foods and ready-prepared meals for your convenience. And to welcome the new year, we continue to provide a 5% discount on our fine selection of wines when you buy 6 bottles or more. Plus, we'll lend you the glasses for your party absolutely free. Customer service is our priority, ensuring fast, efficient checkouts, courteous assistance, helpful staff always on hand to help with packing, in-store cash dispensers, free car parking and late shopping till 10 p.m 6 days a week at most stores. At Mearway in Western Favel in Northampton, Swansgate and Dennington in Wellingborough, Parkway in Kettering and the Square in Market Harborough, you're really never far from your local Tesco. Tesco, every little helps.
Are you fed up with cracked, worn, stained or weed-ridden surfaces? At Classic Impressions we've got the solution with our revolutionary new paving systems available in a variety of colours and patterns. They're resistant to oil and petrol, maintenance and weed-free, and come with a 10-year guarantee. Fitted by qualified craftsmen, your new Classic Impressions driveway, patio or path will enhance the appearance and value of your property. For your free survey and quotation, call 0800 068 5436. Classic Impressions, creating the right impression.
Thinking of renting a home? At HomeWise, our staff have the right balance of experience and knowledge to help our landlords and tenants make the right decisions. Our range of properties helps us to cater for all your accommodation needs at the best possible price. At HomeWise, we're big enough to cope, yet small enough to care. For a personal and friendly service, please call us on Northampton 717 194 or visit our offices at 16 Farnborough Road, Kingsthorpe. HomeWise, finding the right home for you.
Looking for windows or conservatories? For quality and experience, come to Park Lane Windows. Our helpful sales staff won't give you the hard sell, but our craftsmen will give you the highest standards of workmanship. See for yourself at our comprehensive showrooms on Arthur Street, Northampton, and choose from a vast range of styles and designs tailored to suit your home. At our prices, you can't afford to go anywhere else. Call us free on 0800 614 605. Park Lane Windows, 0800 614 605 for quality, choice and value for money.
Northants TV's Match of the Week is sponsored by Dr. Martins in association with Rushden and Diamonds Football Club. The winning combination.
Well, Poppies player manager Steve Berry, who spent the first half on the bench watching his team from the sidelines, has obviously thought that enough's enough. And he's brought himself into the fray at half-time. Wearing number 12. Bradley Sanderman is the player he's replaced. And, well, the Poppies faithful in the main stand here at Rockingham Road will surely be pleased about that. Many, of course, were surprised, actually, that Berry decided to leave himself out of the starting lineup today. Well, let's just see what he can do as the Poppies strive to claw back this one-goal deficit. And, well, Costello was nodding the ball in early on there, and it looked to be dropping for Rob Mutchell, who was well forward in that particular attack. And that's Costello. The ball will come back to Steve Berry, actually. It's Berry's ball in. He's going to look for Van Dulleman's touch. Oh, and Rob Mutchell's well forward here. Yes! 1-1, and Rob Mutchell has got the equaliser within 2 minutes of the restart. Well, what about that? Steve Berry within 2 minutes of coming on. How about that for an impact? His ball into the box, touched on by Van Dulleman. And Rob Mutchell stealing in at the far post and slots that beyond Brian Horn. Well, Rob Mutchell there, that's only his second goal of the season, but it's come at a most welcome time for Kettering Town. Well, like I just said, a lot of the supporters here at Rockingham Road were surprised that Berry didn't include himself in the starting 11. Well, then you have to wonder what would have happened if he had. Kettering Town might well have been leading at this particular point instead of merely level pegging. And it's an entirely different game now. That goal's put a totally different complexion on things. Steve Baker will take this throw in for Farnborough, and who I'm sure are pretty shell-shocked at what's just happened. Well, that ball just rolled beyond Mayhew then. This is David Moore. Well, a long ball then, looking for Craig Norman, who was making tracks from midfield. And Chris White was forced to play the ball out of play for a throw-in. Taken quickly, and it will come back to Berry again via Costello and Norman. Well, Costello's touch then was looking for Craig Norman, the Poppies skipper. And you may remember it was Craig Norman who sealed the Poppies' first win of the season, which didn't come until November the 15th. As, well, the ball played in and was looking again for Van Dulleman. It might fall for Rob Mutchell, who's finding himself so far forward in these attacks for Kettering this afternoon. I'm surprised he doesn't get a nosebleed. Well, lying flat on the ground there is the Farnborough skipper, Wayne Stemp. Brian Horn's seeing if he's okay, and well, so's the Farnborough physio now. But, well, I'm sure Farnborough fans will be eager for him to get up and back on his feet, because he's been a pretty important character for Farnborough this afternoon, Wayne Stemp. As Vowden tries to play that ball towards Mutchell and Van Dulleman. Well, they've seen an improvement in Kettering Town's fortunes this afternoon. Although that ball's out of play. Costello's efforts to keep the ball in play were admirable then. And Mitchell will be able to clear that for Kettering. Of course, we mustn't forget that next week Kettering are in action in the second round of the FA Trophy. Of course, that passage was booked by a 1-0 victory over Dorchester Town 2 weeks ago here at Rockingham Road, when today's goalscorer Rob Mitchell got the winner in that game. So Kettering Town number 3 is having a bit of a purple patch at the moment, but that will be a difficult game for the Poppies. They're away at Northwich Victoria, who are a fair few places above them in the Vauxhall Conference. I'm sure Steve Berry will be very happy to forget about the battle for league points for an afternoon and maybe set his sights on Wembley. That's Baker. He was looking for Wingfield then, he was peeling away. But, well, no nonsense clearance then from Colin Bowden. But you certainly sense that Kettering Town are beginning to get the better of their opponents this afternoon. Things are breaking for them. And the promptings of Steve Berry in midfielder are helping them a great deal. Oh, well, Carl Adams' ball then. I think he was trying to find Steve Berry. Well, Farnborough is certainly dangerous on the attack here, and that might fall for Wingfield, although David Moore was in his way, and Colin Bowden and now Rob Mitchell are able to get the ball clear. This is Carl Adams again. Oh, nice looking ball for Adams. That's Costello out on the far side, although he showed far too much of that to Wayne Stemp. And the Farnborough skipper was able to clear. Well, Moore, that's to Adams, and Rob Mitchell again. Looking for Costello, actually. He might have got the better of Chris White. Oh, well, the ball across the box, Van Dulleman. Well, he was just a yard or two behind John Underwood then, and well, had that ball been pulled a yard or so back, Kettering Town would have taken the lead for sure. That's ball play forward towards Craig Norman. Although Farnborough have a goal kick. Well won in the air by David Moore. Oh, and a nice touch on again by Van Dulleman was towards Costello, but Costello lost out again. And Baker got a foot in then, and he won that ball quite well. Although that will trickle out on this near side for a Kettering throw-in, to be taken by Bowden. Well, Baker was using his arms on Van Dulleman then, who, make no mistake, has been a handful for the Farnborough defence this afternoon, Ray Van Dulleman. Bowden will take the free kick. And Costello and Van Dulleman were both trying to get a foot in, although the Farnborough defender, Paul Harford, was able to clear that. And the Poppies fans quite happy to see Paul Cox clear the ball then. This is David Meehue. He's looking back and he finds Rowlands inside, who tries an effort from 25 yards, and that was dipping. And, well, Chris Taylor had to make a fingertip save, and Farnborough remind us there that, well, it's certainly too early to write them off in this game. A good effort by Rowlands. Well, another long-range effort then. That one was by Paul Harford. That one didn't cause Chris Taylor the same amount of concern. The Farnborough fans behind Chris Taylor's goal there. Certainly slightly more encouraged by that effort, after their team had, well, shown little sign of attacking, actually. We're halfway through the second half. One each between Kettering and Farnborough. That's Wingfield turning and finding Meehue, who took the ball off his toes then, and that ball will come through to Martin Rowlands. Nice play by Farnborough. That's Meehue, and, well, Wingfield's in here. Oh, Chris Taylor had to make the save. And, well, Wingfield was driven slightly wide then. Tim Wilkes and Kevin Shoemake slightly concerned with the resurgence in Farnborough's form just of late. That's 2 chances within the space of 2 minutes they've had, and, well, Taylor claims that corner comfortably for Kettering. You just wonder whether Tim Wilkes might be brought into the fray, actually, this last 20 minutes. That's fouled, and although Mick Thorpe seemed to think he was fouling Steve Baker then, this free kick will be taken by Baker. Plenty of activity up front for Farnborough. Mayhew and Wingfield are making themselves available. Although that was a fairly deep free kick, and it was looking for number 8, David Harlow, who might get it back here. A very important interception then by Paul Cox. Harlow was looking to slip the ball through to Martin Rowlands then, but Kettering are up the other end now with Costello, who just failed to get a touch onto that through ball. And Farnborough have a free kick to be taken by Brian Horn. And it's another deep free kick by Horn. He's certainly got a fair whack on him, and that was knocked into the danger zone again by John Underwood. That's number 9, Rowlands. And the ball coming in eventually then was by number 10, David Mayhew, and that could have gone anywhere. And as it happened, it's gone out of play for a Farnborough corner to be taken by Wingfield. And Steve Berry then able to complete the clearance for the Poppies. Carl Adams and Craig Norman launching the ball forward. Then it was towards Ray Van Dulleman. Farnborough, David Moore's clearance then spooned off his right foot. And things are getting a little bit scrappy actually at the moment. Kettering still need to get a grip. Throw in to be taken by Chris White. The Farnborough fans hoping that their team will give them something to warm them up, because it's a bitterly cold day here at Rockingham Road. Certainly a day for gloves and scarves. Well, nicely won in the air then by Ridgway. Although Steve Berry, who was well forward in that attack, just wasn't on his wavelength. That's Moore and Vowden trying to complete the clearance then for the Poppies. Well, the ball played through then was by Carl Adams, and it's looking for Ray Van Dulleman. Oh, well, he's gone down there, and what will the no penalty according to the referee. The Poppies fans are furious. Oh, well, Mick Thorpe's given a penalty now. Well, indeed, he's had to consult his assistant before giving the spot kick, but Craig Norman's placed the ball on the spot, and this is a penalty for Kettering Town. Craig Norman scores. 2-1 to the Poppies, and Farnborough might well complain about that. Well, that didn't matter to Craig Norman, who stroked that penalty. Brian Horn went the wrong way, and Craig Norman has given Kettering Town a 2-1 lead with 79 minutes gone. Such a welcome sight for the fans here at Rockingham Road to see that ball hit the back of the net. Kettering Town ahead for the first time in this match. Well, if they can hold on for the remaining 11 minutes of this game, what a welcome victory for them. They've been under the cosh for large parts of this game against Farnborough Town. All they need to do now is hold on, and a result might well mean that they move out of the bottom 3 for the first time this season, actually, the Poppies. Although they're pressing forward and might well look for a third goal here. Farnborough Town might well have a word with Mick Thorpe after the match about that penalty, because initially it seemed that he'd deemed that challenge by the Farnborough substitute Neil Baker legitimate. Van Dulleman went over like a sack of potatoes, and it was only after he consulted his assistant over on that far side that Mick Thorpe actually gave the penalty. But, well, that's given them something to cheer. As well, Farnborough have got to press for an equaliser now. Although Kettering will be certainly very pleased to see that sight. That was Steve Berry clearing the ball. That's up towards Carl Adams, who turns inside nicely then, and that's looking for Tim Wilkes. Oh, Tim Wilkes could have sealed it there. Ray Van Dulleman was absolutely unmarked on the far post. but Tim Wilkes fired that across the face of goal. And it's end-to-end stuff now as Farnborough goes straight up the other end with Martin Rowlands. That was Rob Mitchell clearing the ball. And Farnborough have a throw which will be taken by Steve Baker. But looking back over this game, you really do have to say Steve Berry has made the difference today. Of course, with Kettering trailing at half-time, they were a goal down as well. Farnborough attacked there and in the end caused no danger to Chris Taylor's goal. They were a goal down at half-time and frankly in the first half didn't look like causing Farnborough Town any sort of bother. But as soon as Berry brought himself on at the interval, within 2 minutes they were level, and since then the promptings of Steve Berry have been instrumental in getting Kettering Town into the lead in this match. Well, of course you have Man of the Match awards, but I think this game might well see Berry win Man of the Half Match award. He's been the difference today, no doubt about that, as Mitchell clears that for Kettering. Well, they've still got to concentrate, the Poppies. There's 5 minutes left, and Farnborough Town will search hell and leather for an equaliser. Another long kick by Brian Hall, which was won in the air by Vowden. And that's Mayhew trying to turn. Well, this is the second Farnborough substitute, Darren Robson. And the Poppies' defence, it's being torn this way and that at the moment, but at the moment they're holding out. They've got to defend a corner here, though. Taken by Wingfield, although it was a pretty poor one, although Wingfield will bring that ball back into the danger zone, and Taylor was stretching, got an important touch. And Tim Wilkes cleared for Kettering. Back into the danger area, touched on by Rowlands. That will come all the way through to Chris Taylor. And I should think that the Kettering fans here at Rockingham Road would be desperate to hear that final whistle. They've been up against it in the last few minutes. It will come out to Spencer Mintram, who's played well on the right side of the Farnborough Town defence. Chris Taylor, of course, in no rush to get the ball upfield for Kettering. A long kick by Taylor. And it slightly bypassed Carl Adams then. And Rowlands was trying to twist and turn and feed Steve Baker on the far side. That's a free kick awarded to Farnborough Town. This could be their last chance at salvaging something. Tossed in by Baker. Oh, dear me. It was touched on then by David Mayhew. And that was so close. One in the air by Van Dulleman, who's been one of the Poppies' best players this afternoon. Things haven't always gone for him, but his work rate's been faultless, and he's been winning endless touches in the air for the Poppies this afternoon. Well, and the final whistle there is such a welcome one to the fans here at Rockingham Road. Kettering Town have beaten Farnborough Town 2-1 here this afternoon, and a much improved second half performance has been the key to Kettering's victory today. The Poppies were trailing at half-time, and then Steve Berry brought himself on at the interval, and then 2 goals in the second half. The winner, a penalty from skipper Craig Norman, have lifted Kettering out of the bottom 3 for the first time this season.
Craig Norman, a most welcome victory for Kettering Town today, and your thoughts at the moment, please?
Oh, we're terribly pleased. I mean, we're out of the bottom 3 for the first time for God knows how long. It's a nice feeling.
Yeah, I mean, Steve Berry brought himself on at half-time, and later on there was the introduction of Wilkes for Costello. Yeah. It seemed that the changes were the key to this game. What on earth did he say to you at half-time?
I think we're still a little bit hungover from the Hereford game. We finished that game badly, and we started this first half. I mean, it was terrible first half.
It was a different Kettering team in the second half, wasn't
Jaffa brought himself on, and we squeezed up a little bit more, and I think we outbattled them. They outbattled us first half, and we did it to them second half.
And that's 2 goals in 2 games for you. You're making a bit of habit of scoring, aren't you, at the moment?
Yeah, it's nice. When I seem to get one, and then I get a couple, and then it dries up, and then I'll get 1 or 2. But that was nice.
It's the second round of the FA Trophy next for Kettering, of course. You're away at Northwich next Saturday. And do players like yourself welcome the chance to forget about the battle for conference points?
I mean, everyone would love the trip to Wembley. I mean, we know how much it means to the fans around here. I mean, the last time we went was in the 70s, so it'll be nice for the fans just to have a good run, see if we can get there.
Kettering's victory moves them up 2 places in the Vauxhall Conference to 18th, and Farnborough's defeat drops them into the relegation zone. Kettering take a break from conference action this Saturday when they take on Northwich in the second round of the FA Trophy.